And one thing about artist development, sometimes I do blame the record labels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone say we have a record label like Links Entertainment. They will not just allow any like any song out.
Okay.
Because they will groom the artists, they will educate the artists, stage performance, everything. The same thing like friends, they like this record label, KWS record label.
Kali Spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is about time those record labels also need to impart to the artists, they do something for the artists in terms of grooming them and before they will come out. Because we have some artists be on man because of the pride and how rush he or she wants to blow. Because sometimes they don't want to learn and they prefer like bra. But no, the moment you are under a record label now as an artist, you need to respect what your manager or your road manager or whatever
tells you.
Yeah.
Okay.
For you to be able to come out with something tangible or something good, at least it can win the masses. Because one thing people don't know, if we're able to win a marijuana kokura, it's not about the youth. The youth need to have TikTok, then it's all. Okay. But if we're able to, that's why Kofi Kinata, Minister say, Ubo Kofi Kinata on period, Babu Kofi Kinata, she's ready to listen.
Exactly.
Those are the kind of songs as an artist you need to work on. Okay. It's not about say, I want to do the trend. We have artists or hip hop. People are doing this Nigeria for
Afrobeat.
I'm a piano, so I also want to ride on a piano. I don't see such people as an artist.
Okay.
Because that's a commodore now. You want to do something. Oh, true. I don't see you as an artist because I to be a so I also want to try and see the perfect here. No, but as an artist, you have to know your trend. That's why I do respect Sarkodie. People were doing is it trap music and dance, but he decides I have to do what I'm capable of doing to be able to sell to the masses.
Sure.
Anyway, or try to I want to do this. It is about time and the artist himself or herself need to sit down and learn. The same time to the same record label also to has to help the artist for the artist to come up with something good. And that's how they are. But 2 days next.
Looking at it, how many record labels do we even have in Ghana?
Exactly. I was actually coming to
the record labels in Ghana are few, right? And one thing I've mostly realized a musician might say they are on a record label or they have someone that's managing them. But apparently it's not that much of a record label. We just have an investor somewhere. You get a road manager and then the investor is putting in the money to the road manager and then the road manager comes out with a plan and then they goes along with it. It's, I feel there's lesser record labels in the country.
We have, but just we don't have investors.
Because
it's the same as Nigeria and Ghana. In Nigeria, how many record labels is it popular? It's the same as Ghana, but because we don't have investors. In Nigeria, they have investors.
Okay.
Because in Ghana here, if an investor wants to invest in you, at the moment I will blow back on. Oh, you can see it. So later, the investor will even regret investing in you because now I have my own shoulder, so I can do whatever I want.
Okay. It's
not money. It's kind of the area you crafting in share. So that's one reason people find it so difficult to invest in this Ghanaian artists. Because everyone say loyalty is one thing Nipa Unia and also hard because you check this is it Maven?
Yeah.
See the artists. Yeah. Still now they are still under friend is but still now they respect and everything. But in Ghana here, no I have fun on same piano. Or not feel say I'm a blues, so I'm bigger than even the one who even
helped me get where I
am. That's one thing I have the Ghanaian artists we find it so difficult. See a penetrated to the market like international market near Well Anana said
was it trash?
Because
record labels nanga say those one and nanga gba na agba or record labels and I'm not sure say that song will be
one thing when they will turn our cat back to band they be now said John boys need be na and 9 artists into omo
you just want to music same way
they want to be popular also need any musical idea but feel so we can he or she wants to do something just to be popular. I don't classify those people as an artist.
Okay.
Artists will be
you don't mess influencers. You don't mess influencers.
Before more comes in.
No, let more.
Okay, all right. Mo,
Yeah, I've heard a lot, but I also have a different perspective to this whole
Today's
thing.
one, yeah.
When I was growing up, we were talking about artist development, right?
Yeah, sure.
When I was growing up, I used to play football. That was where I actually started from.
Wow.
And there were
Yeah.
and there were times that when we are about to finish with our trainings, you find artists on a park trying to get a vocal tone. I didn't know what they were. I thought they were like from
Something
churches.
yeah.
Yes. It was later that I found there was actually a studio in my area where the late Baktai and some of these artists were recording.
Okay.
So I think Baktai was one of the people that I used to see around, and then he would just come around to work on his vocal tone to get a tone. We're talking about current artists and artists back then, like Bygone was asking.
Yeah.
You find out that currently, when you play about 10 songs, you may think it's one artist, different songs. But you later find out that it's about 10 artists you listen
Different.
to. Back then, you play Obrafo, and when Obo comes, you can tell the
You can tell
difference.
the sure.
Even though their names sound like Obrafo or Obo, but when you hear the voice, you can tell. When Lord Kenya comes and Kwade comes, you can tell.
the
When
difference.
Miss Bell comes and Triple M, you know all of these
Sure.
things. I had an encounter with Miss Bell, and I asked a question like that about how they were able to do it then. That 21 years after 16 years,
It's
the
still a classic.
the song is still there.
Banger.
And she made mention of one thing that I think that was one thing I learned about how they were recording at Hasha Studios, and it was recorded on schedules.
Okay.
So you don't just come to the studio in it like we just here. You come in like I have a song, let's do it. No, you're working like the way we have timetable in schools.
Yeah.
You know, Monday I'm working with JQ. Tuesday I'm coming to listen to the mix.
Okay.
So we're talking about timeless music, you know. I think that was one of the things that has kept that. I'm talking about just the hip life era.
Yeah.
Elon made mention of
The old
Amachi
timers,
Dede,
yeah.
and with what Elon said about Amachi Dede, their era was, what I also learned a little from that was that most of the people that they worked with were musicians. They were not just somebody that could play. I'm actually, Elon mentioned that he's a producer. Yeah, so when after football, I started producing. I produced about 2 albums. Yes.
Oh wow,
That's how come I met Fem. And I worked in the studio, and he was like, wow. And I was using the system. What I saw when I was playing football is that the artist will come and rehearse for like weeks or months because he has just one session.
Sure.
But he will spend about 1 month getting the vocal tone, getting the lyrics together, and then going to record just one song. But today you find an artist with a laptop on a tabletop in a kitchen and they're recording like a whole album. Rick Ross is way richer than any artist in Ghana. I don't know, but Rick Ross, from what I've seen,
I mean,
he's way richer. But as his recent album, he actually booked a studio, a recording studio with McMill. I'm like, Rick Ross, only studio only Fiana. But he would go to a professional studio to record. He could also stay in his kitchen and record. So
they are cooking. The boys are cooking.
So with artist development, it's very tough. From what Nana and Bygone were talking about, labels we don't have a lot of labels in Ghana. I know when it comes to artist development, it's the labels. Artist development because the artist he has a raw talent. He only knows how to sing, but to make the singer become an artist, it takes a lot of things from the way he even sits. There are ways that I watch a lot of these foreign artists. Kanye West will be smiling, and the next minute he's frowning. He's playing a character.
Wow.
Here, Ghana, you meet an artist, you don't even know what character the person is playing. But I know for a fact that Kwade is one of the artists I see like he playing a character. As a story.
Yes.
So once you see him, you're able to know that
can relate.
I can he's identified as a storyteller.
Wow.
But you meet about 10 artists, they don't even know what they are doing. All they do is vibe. You hear a beat, they even go on YouTube to download.
You see Saturday
Holding glass.
He's playing a character.
And that is it's not even easy to get that. To have their songs I've heard that I think Mr. Easy when he was coming up, there's a song that I heard Sarkodie's voice like that way in there, and I thought Sarkodie was in the song. He
But he
wasn't
wasn't.
there. But
That was the
Mr.
thinking.
Izzy used that to promote himself
So,
with the
wow.
name Sarkodie.
Yeah,
So
vocal
even
signature.
to come up with a
Wow.
voice.
Boy,
So branding, like artist development, there's branding, and people, most of us think branding is how we dress.
Yeah.
But even the voice
Yes.
alone is a brand.
Your
Jay-Z
vocal
has done a
texture,
lot
your
of
interviews, your line of interviews,
yes.
Wow.
the type of interviews you go
Cool.
on.
it's
Yes.
crafted.
What you post on your social.
You know, with all that we are mentioning, an artist alone cannot do that. You
Sure.
need people
You need
to
an
actually
entire
develop,
team
yes,
to
to
Yeah.
develop
these
even
things.
how to record, where to record. I know there are people that can sing,
Yeah.
but when you take them to the studio, they have to. You have to develop them not just to sing. I don't know if you know this group, Nico and Vince. One is Ghanaian, one is Ivorian.
Yeah.
The first time I heard their album, the Black Star Elephant, I could hear that one is a singer, one is a vocalist. That's how I heard it. And I had to go back and research on them. And I found out that, yeah, the Ghanaian, I think he is Nico, or I don't know. The Ghanaian was actually coached in the studio how to hit notes.
Wow.
But the other guy was flowing. So his is that. And even the album that they did, they didn't write anything. It was written for them, sung for them. They come and listen, sing with their voice, and all these things. An artist alone cannot go through all these things to come up as an. And I told my colleague, I know Zaji Jonah. I told Jonah that Joe, I don't think Nico and Vince can come up with an album like this again. And since I heard of them, they haven't been able to come up with an album like that.
Yeah.
Because they had a whole band playing things like musicians. We're all
Sure.
together.
Sure.
So I think when it comes to longevity,
Yeah.
These
you
things play a
need
part.
such people
Some of
to
these
play
things.
because as a mallet song that was played in the 90s, when Mansanabo plays Ryan
You still feel that
yeah.
vibe.
But today a string plays 1, 2, 3 percussions and the song ends like enumerate. There's nothing. There's no bridge, no chorus, no hook, nothing. Everything just goes raw.
Oh, okay.